Hello, these are my March favourites. So my first ones I got right at the start of the month, and I'm really surprised that I managed to get them actually, I'll put them into a better position because Roxy messed with them. The limited edition Frozen dolls. Look how pretty they are. They have kind of a shiny iridescence to their faces and glitter running through their hair. This last time I wanted to get the Frozen dolls when they came out. I only got the Nordic Anna. I couldn't get the Coronation Elsa, but I managed to get both of them. Yay! And they sit on my vanity holding hands because they are best friend sisters. So they're pretty sweet. Also Frozen themed because, you know, 50% of what I talk about is Frozen, is this Elsa mug which I have wanted to get since December. And every Disney store I'd gone into, they didn't sell them anymore, but I found this in the Trafford Centre when I went with my friend Jen, and it's now my new favourite mug. And this is very helpful because I fill the hot water up to just underneath the snowflakes. Very specific. Love it. For beauty, I didn't think I'd have a lot for March because I hadn't really been wearing a lot of makeup. But one thing I had been doing, if I'd been doing my foundation or base, because I don't wear foundation, is my eyebrows, of course. So, one of March's favourites was my MAC, what's it called? Pro Longwear Waterproof Brow Set, which I have on now for my bushy brows. The only downside to this is if you put on a little bit too much, you can get a bit of a brown shadow above your brow. So then you kind of have to wipe it and then brush your brows up again. But if you don't apply too much with the tiny wand, then it's all good. And it's a good colour as well. It's not too red based, which I think a lot of brown coloured brow products tend to be. So for the rest of, I don't have any other makeup March favourites, but I do have a couple of skincare ones. Ultrabalm has been one of my saving graces for March because I think because the weather's been getting kind of horrible and cold and windy, I'd got a bit of eczema by the sides of both of my eyes and on the side of my mouth as well, so I was finding that I could put this on my lips as well as even around my eyes. It didn't irritate them at all. Because Ultrabalm is just jojoba, candelia and rose wax, so it's very simple but effective. It's a good barrier when your skin is really sore. I thought that this was like a bit of a hype thing, the Mask of Magnaminty by Lush, but I've used it, the self-preserving version, because I picked it up and honestly I just preferred the smell of this one to like the standard version. But yeah, I used it and it did actually make my skin feel not as spotty, not as irritated, which is all good. I think it's the honey in it that's really agreeing with me, but yeah, Mask of Magnaminty. I did a Magnaminty Mondays post and I thought that was quite fun, so it's a good way to remind yourself to kind of do a bit of a treatment once a week. I did find though that if I put this on the Monday and then if I try to put it on again throughout the week, then it would be a little bit too much for me, because I don't actually like exfoliating my skin too much. So I found that when I put this on, rather than washing it off in like big sweeping motions as you kind of would do when you like wash your face, I had to do it in like tiny little circles to like get it off my skin so that it wouldn't scratch as much. But maybe if you're finding that it feels a bit too harsh for you, then you can try just smaller motions like I did. And I got this free in UK Glamour magazine. It was the Balance Me Super Moisturising Body Wash, and when I first opened it I was like, whoa, super botanical. If you've ever used the Clarins Body Tonic Wash, it's kind of similar to that. It is very, 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 very botanical, super aromatherapy. I'm not making any sense. It really does stink of geranium the most. That's what I get from it most. But I did find that when I was using it, it was actually quite refreshing and not too overpowering actually. Like, I know some body washes you put on and you can just smell them on you for the rest of the day, but this was kind of quite mild, and in the respect that it's quite confusing because it smells so strong, but then when you're actually using it, it's not that bad. So I thought that was good, and you can't argue for getting a freebie from a £2 magazine. Go Balance Me. I've used quite a few Balance Me products, and they do some good ones. One thing I wasn't sure whether to include in my March favourites, I'm not sure whether I favourite it, is the Roche Posay Serozinc zinc sulfate solution, which is like a kind of toner. I don't know. I got this. This was one of the very few things that I got from France. You know, the whole French pharmacy thing going on, because all it has in it is water, sodium chloride and zinc sulfate, and zinc mattifies the skin, and it's also good for spots as well. So I thought, well, I'll give this a go. It's just like kind of like a zincy infused type of water. When I'd use it on my spots, like say if I was using it on this area here, which is quite spotty, it would kind of work, like it would shrink my spots, but then it would do that thing where, like, kind of similar to other harsher formulas, where it would really dry the skin, so then the spot would go, but then I'd kind of get flaky skin in its place. So it's one of them where, like, I've liked using it, and the one plus side to this is that because it's an aerosol, it covers really large areas very easily. So I could do like my shoulders and then down through my back as well. But it's one of them where I can't figure out whether I like it or whether I just don't really think it's working in the way that I'd want it to be working. But I'm definitely focusing on really using it up anyway. But there we go. And one thing I don't like about this is because it's in a pressurized container, so it feels really cold when you're holding it. I'm just not a fan. But yes, that's like a love it hate it thing at the moment. I talked about my Coco Mademoiselle in my last monthly favourites, in that I was favouriting the sample of Coco Mademoiselle Eau de Toilette over the actual Eau de Parfum that I bought in Paris. But this month I have fallen in love with my Coco Mademoiselle. I was finding that I was tending to spray it on my stomach rather than my neck where I usually apply my perfume, and I really liked the way it smelled when I was doing it that way. So go Coco. I know that something's a favourite when I use it several days in a row, which was what I was doing with this one, so it was quite nice. Another favourite is the Chanel Chanson Tendre little sample I got from the Paris Beauty Boutique. I do like it, and I have really enjoyed using it, and I'm surprised at how much mileage I've got out of it, considering I've been using it quite a few days throughout March. It doesn't have any projection whatsoever. Like, if you wanted to smell this on me, you'd literally have to be like, have your nose on my neck or on my wrist. It doesn't have any projection, and the wear time on it is surprisingly long, considering that it doesn't have a projection. It wears close to the skin, but quite long on the skin, but it isn't a powerful scent at all. It's just a very pretty floral. I don't know whether I'd buy it full size, just because I tend to like perfumes that have a bit more boom to them. But then again, I don't know, because, you know, I'm not getting on as easily with the stronger perfumes as I would have done in the past, so maybe I'll have to see. But in the full size version, this is the Chance bottle that is pink. And for fashion, these jeans from Zara, which have a rip in the knee, which I've made even more massive because I put my foot through it when I was trying to put them on. Oops. And my last favourite for March is Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. I know I'll be saying next, like, oh, I've just discovered Elvis, honest to God. I was on YouTube and I was googling Daft Punk because Daft Punk Digital Love is one of my favourite songs, so I was probably looking for that, and then I saw a video that said Instant Crush, Daft Punk and Julian Casablancas, and I was like, what? They did a song together? And then I clicked on it and I recognised it as a song that they used to play all the time when I worked in Victoria's Secrets, and I then got the Daft Punk album, and basically I recognised half the songs because they used to play them in Victoria's Secret, and I've just been absolutely obsessed with Daft Punk's album for the whole of March, especially the Giorgio by Mordor one. That one's immense. Happy songs. And oh no, another favourite, my beaker. Well, this is Roxy's beaker because I smashed my beaker of like last year when I was at the train station swinging it in my hand and it fell down the steps, and you know when it goes in slow motion you're like, no! I just smashed at the bottom of the steps. So Roxy was kind enough to give me her one. This is the Mimosa colour. I've started using this again and it's quite nice walking around and about, having this in my hand, keeping hydrated. Yeah, so those were my March favourites. Yay!